What up, everybody? Good morning. How you doing? Today's video, hopefully you guys will like. It's going to be a little bit different. I am not going to talk about cars, although I'd like to, but I'm going to talk about the issue at hand. I'm going to talk about what's happening in the world. I'm going to talk about not necessarily too deep into this pandemic, but I am going to talk about how I fight through colds, what I do to fight through viruses, and what I do to keep my immune system strong so that I don't get sick while people around me do. And after all, this is a cars and lifestyle channel, so this will be my first of actually talking about a little bit about lifestyle. And hey, this coronavirus, I hate saying the word. I think it's all over the news. It's created a lot of fear, but this is the biggest thing that's ever happened in most of our lifetimes. So I'm going to talk about it very, very lightly. And I'm also going to take you guys for a drive with me around town, and we'll see what the city is like on this shelter in place order that's in effect. All right, so first things first. What's my secret? What is it that I do that keeps me healthy while friends and family members and people around me are coughing, sneezing, sniffling, and stuck in bed? So let me throw this disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I'm not a physician. I don't practice anything like that. However, I did learn this from homeopathic doctors that I've been to over the years while I struggled and battled with my own health issues. So to give you a little bit of history, over 10 years ago, I was working in the telecom world, and all day long, my profession was to sit with clients and talk to them about long distance plans and different services that this company offered. And I would talk anywhere from 6 to 8 hours non-stop a day. Now, that can be, exhausting for a healthy person. And it can be even more exhausting for somebody who's unhealthy who doesn't even know it. And what happened was I started developing what I thought was a cold. My throat hurt, and it became harder to actually talk and present the services that the company I was working with had. And before I knew it, within a week's time, I completely lost my voice. Now I thought, okay, no big deal. I'll go to the doctors, pop a few pills, I'll be good, right? Oh boy, was I wrong. Turned out I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't keep money flowing in naturally, and I hit my first major roadblock in life with health that affected my finances. I went and I got tested for all sorts of, they did all sorts of tests on me. They did blood tests, they did HIV tests, they did an endoscopy where they literally put a camera down my throat to see if there's something going on in my throat and into my stomach to see what it could possibly be, if I had a growth, if I had a tumor or something, because I literally had no voice. I couldn't talk, and my throat was just on fire, right? Anyway, I was without a voice for months on end. I don't quite remember how long, but for months I was without a voice. And one day I'm watching TV and a documentary pops up, and on the title it said, Ashley Simpson is facing a career-threatening condition called silent acid reflux. And I was like, interesting. What's going on? What is that? What is silent acid reflux? I have heard of acid reflux, and I have been taking medication to reduce acid, and I've been on Pepto-Bismol and all the other stuff that's out there, but what in the world is silent acid reflux? And it turns out that many singers actually get this condition when their body is highly acidic. And what happens is when our body is highly acidic from the foods that we eat, at night when we go to sleep, that acid from the food ends up slowly crawling up our vocal cords, down up our throat and into our vocal cords, and it will eat away literally and burn up our vocal cords and cause damage. And many people, millions of people, have this happen to them, and they don't even know it because, again, it's silent. Most of us who have ever had heartburn, you'll feel it. You'll feel that that tingling. You'll feel that fire through your throat. But this is something different. This is silent. It literally happens only at night while you're asleep because the food's coming up. And so as soon as I saw this video and I saw the whole documentary on Ashley Simpson, I said, oh my God, that is what I have. I got to get that treated. And I went and I found a homeopathic doctor because I was done with Western medicine. And this doctor taught me how to eat healthy and how to eat greens and more raw food. And within a week's time, had me cured, and my voice was coming back, and I was able to talk again. So, with that being said, let me show you what this juice green shake is that I make. It's bomb. I absolutely love it. It consists of just a few ingredients, and it's really, really, really good, and it's healthy for you, and it will definitely help your body stay alkaline and fight off disease. And I'll talk a little more about that too, but let's go over to the kitchen and show you what the shake's all about. So here's my recipe. I have used this recipe for years. In fact, I've used it recently when my brother was sick and my immune system was boosted and I used this stuff. Frozen pineapples from Trader Joe's. A whole bunch of kale, a whole bunch of spinach, bananas, 2 bananas, and a little bit of water. And I actually bought some big, I think these are 32 ounce, 32 ounce cups. Got them on Amazon so I can just make my smoothies, pour them in, and take it to go. So let me show you how it's done. Okay, so the trick to this recipe is to have as many greens as possible. You want more greens than anything, so if you don't think you have enough greens, keep piling it on, and if you do think you have enough greens, then pile more on. So I've got a whole bundle of kale. I got pineapple. The pineapple's mainly for taste, and it also it's frozen, so it's going to give it a good smoothie consistency. So get all your kale in there. Now, of course, kale tastes not so good. The pineapple is going to add to the flavor. The bananas as well are going to add a ton of flavor. So usually, for one person, I just take a cup. These cups have lines on it. I'm going to fill up water to that line. You gotta have a little bit of water in this. Without water, it's just not gonna blend. Take a big handful of spinach. Put it in there. Alright, we're gonna blend away. And when we're done, we've got this beautiful, healthy, nutritious, green, nasty looking, but tasty concoction. And there it is. Cheers. Really, really good. If I would describe the taste, you taste a little bit of green, kind of like wheatgrass if you've ever had wheatgrass, with a hint of pineapple and banana. Really good tasting smoothie, and it's completely packed with greens and all the essentials you need to keep your body alkaline. So it's day one of our lockdown, and they call it, what do they call it? They call it shelter in place. We're going out, we're going to the shop. I'm gonna show you guys some footage of what the streets look like. I haven't seen yet, so let's see how eerie this feels. Well, so far there's definitely people on the road. So as I drove around town, it definitely seemed like there were a lot less people on the road. The highways weren't as full, the streets weren't as full, but I was expecting for me to be able to hear crickets as I'm going through town, and that wasn't the case. There were a lot of cars, there were a lot of people driving around, and honestly, it just felt like it was perhaps another Sunday. Definitely noticeable, definitely different than the norm, but it wasn't an eerie feeling at all. So there's nothing too exciting around town. I thought maybe we'd see zombies or the apocalypse or, something crazy that everybody's talking about, but it just felt like another weekend. Let's go back to the house and talk about the pH balance and what that all means and what this green shake is and how that ties into fighting viruses and disease. So, an adult's body weight is usually about 50 to 60% water, right? Essentially, we are water-based, and the food that we eat is going to be either acidic food or alkaline food. And what does that mean? Well, here's my understanding, right? If you eat steak, right, your body has to create acid in the stomach, right? Follow me here, to break down that steak. So when you eat steak, your body creates a ton of acid to break down that steak. After that process is done, and that's actually why we feel very heavy after we eat steak, because our body's working very aggressively to break down that meat. After that process is done, that acid gets absorbed in through the bloodstream into our body. Okay, and again, this is just my understanding of things. I could be wrong here. Okay, when we eat fruits and vegetables, our body does not have to create such high amounts of acid to break down that food. And so what happens is it's broken down faster, and we don't have this excessive amount of acid that our body has to absorb. Now, there's tests for this stuff, right? You can go and you can take a pH test, and what that test does is it shows you how alkaline, how water-based your body is versus how acidic your body is, meaning you are eating food that creates too much acid to break down, therefore that acid is left over and it circulates through your bloodstream. Now, where am I going with this, right? Here's where I'm going with it. So there are many doctors who have actually practiced this type of medicine and have researched, and they've spent their entire lives figuring out this science. One of these doctors is Dr. Otto Warburg, and I'm going to quote a direct quote from him. He actually explained that cancer cells, and I quote, live in a hypoxic, very low oxygen and acidic conditions, and they derive energy from sugars by fermenting them like yeast. What does that tell you, right? This doesn't just apply to cancers. This applies to cancer cells, to bacteria, to viruses, down to the common cold. These disease, they're all disease, right? Disease cannot thrive in a body that is pH balanced. They can only thrive in a body that is low in oxygen and that has the perfect environment for them to thrive. So, when it comes to this pandemic that we are facing right now on a global level, right? That's why it's called a pandemic. My way to fight it is through really eating strict, and of course I'm a vegetarian, but drinking those shakes that I just showed you, it's packed with vegetables and with fruits. Those are the most alkaline foods that you can put in your body. In turn, is turning my body into an alkaline state, and by theory, I should be able to fight off the virus, the coronavirus. Even if I'm exposed to it, even if it enters my body, it'll simply die off because my body's got plenty of oxygen, my body's got plenty of water, and there is no supportive environment for corona to live. And there's plenty of books out there, there's plenty that you can read about online. I'll actually put some links down below so you guys, if you're interested, I mean, obviously if you've watched this far into the video, I've spiked your interest level, and maybe this will help you beyond just this virus that's going out there, or the flu. Maybe this will help you in treating cancer or tumors or other conditions that one of you has. I don't know, but I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I've known people, been acquaintances with people as well that have cured themselves of what doctors, Western doctors, diagnosed as terminal conditions, and they are still alive today. One of them is a friend of mine who had a tumor in her stomach, and she went on this green living phase for several years, and tumor disappeared, and she's still alive today. And I know of many other cases. So that's it for today, you guys. Thank you for watching. I know that it's something completely different than before. Comment down below if you like it. Hopefully this will help you out in life, and you know, make that shake. Have one shake a day, have maybe 2 shakes a day, but fight this thing. I think we should all fight this thing. It's another influenza, it's another virus that's out there. There's going to be more that are going to hit us, and if we don't keep our bodies strong, we're not going to be able to fight these things, and we won't be able to drive our cars. Anyways, one of the biggest goals of this channel, guys, let me remind you, is to go out there and create enough revenue so that I can buy a car, modify the car along with your guys' help and your guys' votes, and then give the car away in a sweepstakes to one of you guys. So I can only do that if you tell your friends about us, if you spread the word, spread the love, and just enjoy the content and tell people about us. So thanks for watching. I look forward to the next video. I look forward to giving away a car one day. Have yourselves a good day. Stay safe out there, and hopefully eventually this thing will pass and all these orders to stay in our homes will be lifted and everybody will go back to normalcy. With that, I'll talk to you guys later.